Good morning, everyone. I am Professor Amit Jadhav. In last lecture, we have seen about the network forensic. In that, we have seen how the different ways to find out the net evidence in through network. So today we are going to start with our new chapter, and in second unit, the email forensic. So as we know that the email is the very crucial way to communicate with each other. So most of the communication in different organization by email itself. So there are a lot of risk occur while we are using the email because in most of the time we send the hacker send the attached file that contains the vulnerable programs, and that whenever we download that file at that time might be the vulnerable program into in our system. So the care should be taken by the network administrator to prevent from such type of attacks. So let's see the email forensic now. So email is used to communicate with the two parties where the file transfer taken place between two servers on a particular port number. A client side application is required to compose email. So as we know that there are different applications that is used to send email from one location to another location. The example of the client-side applications are Yahoo Mail, Web Client, MS Outlook, Hotmail, Gmail, etc. It requires the sender's identity to store it as a file and then deliver to a destination user address through one or more number of servers. So using email, we can communicate with a number of users, maybe on a same server or maybe on a different server. We can communicate with the different server also through email. They make email communication makes the thing simple, powerful, and efficient. The email writing and communication have been under the focus of malicious intruder over the last few decades. Emails can forward easily. So uh, since few decades we are using email for the communication. So it's a simple and powerful way to communicate with each other. Email abuse is also increasing day by day. Email crimes like spam, threatening mails, narcotic traffic trafficking is also are increased. So most of the attacker use the email to attack on the system. So spam, maybe they send the spam mail, maybe they use of tethering emails. Okay, so by using different ways, the attacker attack on our system. So the next point is email clients and server. Email client message is made up of two parts that are header and body. The header contains the information about the email origin, like address, from where it comes, how it reaches to the destination, who sent it. The body contains the message and the attachment, if any. So there are two parts of email. First one is the header, and second one is the main body. So the header contains information. Excuse me, like source ID, destination ID, and how the message sent from one location to another location. And in body it contains the original message and also if attachment is attached. Many organizations have their own mail server. Some users dials for the internet service provider. When this user sends the mail first go to the ISP server, and ISP sends that mail to receiver's mail server. So generally, whenever we send the mail, it first reach to the ISP server. ISP is the default server that launch on our system, and it forwarded to the another server or mail server. The message stays on the receiver server till the receiver retrieve it. An email server is computer which runs on Unix, Windows, or any other operating system. The server contains the software to manage the transmission, hold the message. When we investigate the email crime, the internal corporate emails are easy to test. They use universal naming convention coupled with the central authentication and control. So it makes easy to find out the sender and receiver email. So if we are use the email for that is internal corporate emails, that means the particular software that use in a corporate only, that means for example ms Microsoft's email that is used to configure only in corporate. So if it is, then it is easy to track out the information. But if we are using external emails like Gmail, Yahoo Mail, then it is difficult to find out the attacker. The email client performs tasks like listening all the message in a mailbox by displaying message header as well as the time and date of the message. It also tells the sender and the size of the message. The client can view, compose or delete message. So whenever we receive the message, we get all the information that from whom we get the message, its time, its date, also the size of the message, all the details we can get on our email. The email server is having the list of all accounts. If it the text file for each account, when the person clicks on the send button to send the mail, it passes the mail to the mail server with sender and receiver name message. The server formats this information and appends it to bottom of the recipient text file. To interact with the server, the following protocols are required. So whenever the user sends email to the another user at that time, it use the destination address. So destination address contain the unique name, then the server name and the extension, and it sends from the one location, and all the names of the user are stored in a text file. There are different protocols that use to transfer email from one location to another location. First one is the post office protocol, that is POP. It stores only incoming message. Initiation is done at the workstation. So POP is used to store only incoming messages. Next one is IMAP, that is Internet Message Access Protocol. This protocol stores all the message. Copies incoming and outgoing message are stored on the server or the workstation or the board. So IMAP is the protocol that used to store the incoming as well as outgoing messages. Next one is the Microsoft Mail API. So these protocols also work same as a IMAP. That means it used to store incoming and outgoing messages. Next one is the HTTP. This protocol is used to web-based send and receiver. So HTTP protocol is used to send data from one client to server in HTML based format. Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, this is SMTP. It responsible for sending and receiving email. It uses the TCP port 25 and it is easy to spoof the SMTP and send the fake mail. So SMTP is not so secure. It uses the TCP and port number is 25 that used to send and receive email from one location to another location. So next point is email analysis. Here we find out the different ways to track the email. So first one is the examine email message. Then second one is the copy email message. Third one is the print email message. Fourth one is the view mail header. Fifth one is the examine email header. Sixth one is the examine attachment. And seven one is the trace the email. So let's see one by one. First one is the examine the email. When it is come into the light that email crime has happened, then it is necessary to collect the evidence which is required to prove the crime in a court of law. Evidence may be gathered from the victim's computer, and evidence is the mail which the victim receives. So whenever the crime happened, the first thing is that we have to do is the examine email, because we have to collect the evidence that we can put into the court of law. So to examine email, we have to follow these things. First, take the image of the machine's hard drive. So we have to create first the image of the hard drive. Then second one is the obtain the victim's machine password to open the encrypted file. So we must know the victim's machine password so we can get the encrypted file. Third one, take the printed copy of the crime mail. Okay, this if we get the crime mail, we have to take the printed copy. And last one, we have to find out the or examine the IP address of the sender server. So these things we have to perform whenever the email crime happen. The second thing, copy the mail into the USB. Third one, take printout of the email message. Fourth one, view mail header. So these three are the very common things that we can perform. The fourth one is the view the mail header. So mail header the contain the information like the source ID, destination ID, okay, that we get in a mail header. So the things that we can do in a mail header are to check the mail header, open your mail, right click on your mail. After right click, menus will display, click on the view full header, the file header will get open. So it gives the all the information from where the message comes and its date and time, all these things we get in a mail header. Last one is the examine the email header. The email header contains the message header and subject body. The email header contains the information of the email origin. You can see the given message that the IP address. So this is the example of email header. So this is the source ID. Then here it's from, this is to, this is the return path, receive SPF, it's a IP address, then originating IP address, then authentication result. So in header we get all this information. So this is the header. Then receive, who receive the mail, its ID is SMTP ID, then its signature, DKIM, digital signature, here we get. So this is the structure of header. These are the some email message header. Okay. Next one is the examine the attachment. If the mail contains any attachment, then the copy of attachment also take the printout of it. If any attachment is there, then we can uh, take copy of that attachment. And last one is the trace the email. The IP address of the originating computer machines tells the owners of the email address which has been used in a possible crime. It is being investigated. It may be possible to information may be fake. So to conclude anything, we have to trace out the mail because the most of the time the fake email we get. So it's important to validate the evidence which uncover. There are many sites which tell the owner associate with the domain name. For example, Suvarna at yahoo.com. Everything after at the right sign is the domain name. So using this, we can trace out the email. So there are some example of the site which tell the owner mails associate with the sites or not. So first one is the arin.net and second one is the freelity.com. So it is used to find out the domain name and IP address, and from this we have to come to know whether the email is valid or not. And one more website is there where we can check the email address. So it gives the different information like phone number, email address, and this website permits the user to reverse email searches. This may help to reveal the subject originally identified. So here we end session because sir asked me to. So there is a meeting with our HOD. So here we stop the session. We will continue in a next lecture. So thank you for watching.